to sing. They requested Joel to sing a solo.
If you all could join me in singing a very familiar hymn, It Is Well With My Soul.
It is the oldest book in the Bible, And Job was a real person, not a fictitious character, as some people say. Why we say like that? It is he is really lived. Years, centuries later, Ezekiel seeing all the old things and the things to happen. Ezekiel is quoting 2 times about Job. In chapter 14, verses 14 and 20. There he is linking Job with the other 2 prophets, Noah and also Daniel. So we know Job is not just a fiction or a fictitious character, but he lived real in this world. And again, centuries later, when James was writing about the endurance, and he is taking none other than Job, and he says, do you remember, have you heard about Job, who endured, who has gone through the endurance? All those things will very clearly say that Job was really lived in this world. And then sometimes I was wondering, what is the purpose of this book being added in the Bible? And the purpose of the book is very clear. Sometimes good behavior is not rewarded, and bad behavior is not punished immediately. And also some of the sufferings people go through is not because of their fault. And all through this time, until the end of this book, Job was not knowing the discussion which was going through between God and Satan in heaven. He was not knowing. Neither his friends were knowing what was the discussion happened in heaven between God and Satan concerning Job. And in this darkness, people are making judgment. The book is clearly showing, do not judge because of the circumstances. And even Job could not understand. And I'm sure, as we know today, with the history and the conversation between God and Satan, he would have done for what reason it happened. God was grooming his point man to take one-on-one with Satan. Because Satan wanted to prove, hey, he became a good man. He's doing very well just because we are protecting him. You are bombarding with blessings. You are giving everything only for this reason, that he is with you. He is still worshipping you. This is what Satan wanted. And God chose Job to prove that prove very clearly it is not so. Even everything will go and he will sing, it is well with my soul, because I know my God. And another point we see, most of the times we all try to judge others. We see the circumstances. In the worship time, sometimes I say, my Lord didn't rejoice in the circumstances. And my Lord didn't want us to rejoice in the situations around you. But He wanted to rejoice in Him. So Job, the purpose of this book to prove, sometimes good people suffer not because of any fault of themselves, and we don't know. Then what do you want to know? Be submit to the authority of God. We trust in the Lord. As the sin writer has written, trust in Him. And He knows everything. He is in control. He doesn't have to deal with you, everybody. George Mathew, I am dealing with you. I am doing this to you because you did this. No. He doesn't have to. We also should not try to judge others or the light of the circumstances. This is why, in order to know the purpose of this book, we should know two things. The things happened in the earth and the things happened in heaven. Then only we will know the real meaning. The first two chapters are written as a prologue, in a poetry, in a prose. And then we are seeing so many monologue, dialogue, and all those things we are seeing it. Well, before we go into it, let me read a few verses from here. The Job chapter 1, the first 5 verses I would like to read. Let us read here. All of a sudden, no other introduction. It's not mentioning about any other introduction. It says, there was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. I was thinking, who is telling these things? It is not God. I think the people around him might be telling. There was a man in the right is telling in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. Man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. 7 sons, then his material aspects are mentioned here. 7 sons. And 3 daughters were born to him. His possessions also were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen, 500 female donkeys, and many servants. And that man was the greatest of all men of the East. His sons used to go and hold a feast then something in the family matter is mentioning. A man, name, a place, and then he says how he was materially rich and all those things. Then coming in the family matter, family dealings, how it was. It says, his sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each one on his day, and they would send and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When the days of feasting had completed their cycle, the father Job, the priest in the family, he has a job. What he's doing? Father is doing like this. Job would send and consecrate them, rising up early in the morning and offering burnt offerings according to the number of them all. Maybe some days all the sons might not have come. According to the number, he was doing it. Perhaps, and according to the number of them all, for Job said, perhaps, who knows? What all things happen in the sons' houses? Maybe they were merrymaking, you don't know. But he says that perhaps my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus, Job did continually. It became a regular practice in his life. It is not a one time, but it became a regular practice. He didn't feel boring to do this. Sometimes we start praying with our dear ones. We say that we make it a prayer. Every week we should gather after 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Then we say, it's okay. We can skip this way, this day. And we try to do it. But for Job it is written, he was doing it continually. What a great thing it is. Before we go, even though I have read only the first 5 verses of this chapter, I may be quoting from different chapters to prove that, to give in detail. Here we see, before we give into the spiritual traits of Job, blameless, upright, fearing God, and shunned all evil. That is the spiritual traits. Before we go into it, I would like to take some time to mention about the material blessings he was possessing. We can say he was prosperous man. Very prosperous. He was the numerous children, especially 7 sons. And the farm and the livestock are the signs of the wealth during those days. It is not the buildings, stocks, or the ownership of shares us today, but during those days, in the patriarchs' days, we can see how many livestock, how many children you have. Oh, Jacob was so blessed with 12 sons. And oh, those things, that was those were the signs of his blessing. He got 7 sons and 3 daughters in the legal bedrock from the same wife. A blessed man. And then, moreover, I was thinking, why this 7 and 3 came? Maybe it is only a thinking. The number 7 in the Bible denotes a perfect, it's a complete. And number 3 denotes the Godhead. So the daughters, they mentioned 3 and the son 7. In short, it is a wonderful family, a perfect family. And also I was thinking of when I read it all through the book, we see Job in his middle age with a grown family. Because we read these sons were meeting together in the different cause with a grown family. But still young enough to father 7 more children, 7 more sons and 3 more daughters after few years or months in the same way. What a blessed man. People will say, he's really a blessed person. Young man with a wonderful family, grown-up children. Oh, I will say like this. After the feast, there you see that when you read it there, I was thinking, he says that Job would send and then call them for blessing them or praying for them. What does it mean? That means I am thinking in this way. At the end of that celebration day, even though Job was not attending the celebration with the young families or young families of his children, but he is not disengaged with them. He is in full knowledge of what is going on. And I will say that the Holy Spirit said Job would send means he might be sending people to bring all the children to his house. Tell them, come on, you enjoyed, you have the time, you come with me. And he might have brought all these children to his house. When all the children are coming back to your house, what a joy it is. What a wonderful time it is. So Job, we read, he would send them, bring them to their house, to his house. And then early morning and sacrifices. Believers, let me ask you this week, who have grown up children, how many of you are really engaged with your children? How many of us we are offering sacrifices for our children? We don't have to sacrifice a lamb today, but we can offer sacrifices with our children, for our children. I will ask you, how many of us are praying for our children? We all will say a number, we all will do. But my next question, if you have grown children, married and born, let me ask you this question. How many of you pray with your children? Very well. Very well. Very well. That is what makes the job different from us. He knows my children were merrymaking or enjoying Mary in their hearts. Not maybe publicly they did something, but in their heart might have done something wrong. We see the blessings of God not only in the family, but also in other areas. He was blessed greatly in the size of the animals as well. In fact, we might even say Job was a wealthy man. Sheep, camels, oxen, female donkeys, all things which are described as the signs of riches in the ancient days, he was blessed. I would say like this. He was healthy, wealthy, and a joyful man. A righteous man. Healthy, wealthy is because the people around look at him and say, yes, Job is a healthy man. As I mentioned to you in the middle age, he has a grown up, he has a family with grown up children, and in some time he could father another 10 children. He is a healthy man, a wealthy man. It says in chapter 29, if you read it, say his houses were in a fortified city. With all the children have houses and were surrounded by wall. In all the things we look, it is says he was very rich, wealthy. For this reason, the writer says he was the greatest among the people in the East of Palestine. He was the greatest in his time in the East of Palestine. You know, I see such a phrase only in the life of King Solomon. We read it in Kings. We read it like this: King Solomon's reputation. He was the most famous. He was the most famous for wisdom in the East. So, in short, we can say he is healthy, wealthy, rich, and God's wealthy and blessed, and at the same time, we can say he led a righteous life. Believers, for such a person, such a wealthy person, such a person with a blessed family. You read it in chapter 31, we say he was well accepted in the society as a judge, benefactor for the citizens. Such a well accepted person, popular leader, wealthy man, blessed family man, a very good businessman. We read it, he was a very good businessman. For him to get a certificate from God, it is not easy. It is not easy. Such a man, we read it from historians, all the history leaders, with all this characteristic and with all these blessings, to get a certificate from the Lord, from God. Oh, such a certificate is so difficult. I would say like this, we can fool the people for some time. I can act very nicely, I can have a very good reputation among you for a certain time, but if my God certifies, in chapter 1 verse 8, he is asking like this, when you certificate, when I say that for some time, you know the history is not very long, maybe some of you didn't born, but we could read in 1939 to 1945, we see Hitler. He became the chancellor before this. After the First World War, Germany was totally devastated, destroyed. And the government after government was failing. Then Hitler came. Oh, exciting the pride of the culture of the Germans. We are not people to be succumb to the others. We are superior Aryans. That is how Hitler manipulated the people. And he became a leader. Without election, he became the chancellor. And everybody was appreciating. And those days the name, even the Pope in Rome certified, he is a born savior for our mankind here. What? After a few years, we know the story of Hitler. So many people being considered as so with a high reputation, but for a time. but for a time. But here we see God is certifying Job. He is telling, how it is questioning? The conversation in heaven, it is not Satan who is starting the conversation about Job. I was wondering, because this Satan is supposed to be always an accuser. Every time he goes to heaven, he meets God, he will say, oh, this guy is very bad, I know him what he's doing behind the scene and discerning. Oh, this guy is a cheat and all those things. But I am surprised. Oh, Satan has nothing to talk about Job to God. I believe like this. Satan tried his best to find fault in Job, but he couldn't. So he cannot talk about Job to God. And for this reason, in the first meeting in the heaven there, God is initiating the discussion. And that initiating discussion, you must read that discussion. It is so nice. It says like, Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Have you considered my servant Job? Before he replies, immediately he says, he is blameless. In one translation, he is the finest man in the world, in the earth. Who will get such a certificate, believers? Oh, God is telling, he is the finest man. Have you considered my servant? I always say, whenever God says to people, when he says, my son, my servant, I am so thrilled. He is telling, my servant. This word servant we can see more often in the book of Job. And in the first chapter itself, God is telling Satan, have you considered my servant Job? When I say my, I always think immediately when I was reading this, immediately thought about my Lord in the last days of going away from this world. He knows in the next few days, I am leaving these people in this earth and I am going back to my to the heaven. And what did it say? In John chapter 14 it says, do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged. And then he says, I am going to prepare mansions for you. He's not stopping. He's saying, when it is finished, I will come back. And I will take you to, that word never forget, I will take you to myself. I will not leave to anyone. In the world, only one person you can say, mine. I have 5 grandchildren, I cannot say my grandchildren, our grandchildren, our children, our siblings, our parents, but only one person we can say mine. That is only my wife. We all would say only. And the same meaning Lord has used there. He says, I will take you to myself. No more. The same thing here we are reading it. He says, Satan, have you considered my servant? He is my servant. I know. He serves my purpose. He serves me. He has a serving attitude. And there also I noticed, he is not mentioning my only servant. No. He is telling my servant. He knows a lot of people can be my servants. You, and me, God can say, my servant. But are you ready? Are you eligible to be called my servant? Now my subject is like this. In the beginning, so many people can come and become familiar, become popular and fool the people for a certain time with all the titles. But after a certain time, we will see really they were fake. But for Job, in the chapter 1 we see he's calling my servant. Come to chapter 42. After all the dialogues, all the dialogues between Job and God, and after so many times God is proving Job, don't cross the territory. This is not your territory. I have the authority to do whatever I want. You look at the creatures, you look at the sea, you look at the nature, you look at everything. Job, don't cross. But when you come to chapter 42, after proving the last verse from Job is what? I repent in dust and ashes. God, I agree. My words were for you. I repent in dust and ashes. After this, God is calling again. God is talking about him again. Last time he was talking to Satan. This time he is calling Eliphaz and friends. You read the chapter very well. And Eliphaz and friends he is calling Eliphaz. You did wrong to me. You were not talking right about me, but only my servant Job has talked right about me. He says, my servant again. It is not only to Satan, he is also talking to Job's friends and says, you didn't speak right about me, but my servant Job has. What a great subject. You can see a number of times God is calling Job as my servant. I was praying till the end of my life. If I could be called thy servant, what a great difference. Anyways, remember, he was not called my only servant. That gives room for you and me to be called my servant. Well, now we come to the spiritual characteristics or characters of our Job, the traits. What are the 4 words? Blameless. What does it mean blameless? Job was a perfect man in a different sense. It doesn't mean he was sinless. We all sinned. We all came from the same nature of Adam. So we cannot say we are perfect or sinless. But perfect in the Bible means complete, natural. There is nothing lacking in the moral area of Job. That is why God called him blameless. You know, I like the phrase which James used, chapter 5, verse 11, I think. Very clearly, James says that. It says like this: if you control your tongue, you can control the whole things. We make mistakes. Then James is telling, if you control your tongue, you can control the whole thing and God will honor. I will say like this: Job was blameless because he controlled his tongue. He knows what to speak, what not to speak. So many good people I consider great. When something come to a really test, failing their words. They utterly failing in their words. Or maybe me also. You may be thinking, but let us examine ourselves. Why Job was called blameless, self-control, integrity, having full integrity? Oh, we can say he is blameless. Not only this, you should read the other chapters. I had seen, whenever he meet people with the needs, somebody for a need, the servants for a need. He is not running away from them like what Levi and the priest were doing in the story of Good Samaritan. You read it. If you go to chapter 31, chapter 29, in all these things, Job was there to help them. Job used his riches. Job used his prosperity to uplift the needy people, widows, handicapped, and those people, maidservant. Every time he is asking in chapter 31, verse 13, if I have rejected the request of my maidservant, God, how can he stand in front of me? He never. No one can say to Job, I was in very distress. I was in poverty. I was lacking everything. But you didn't consider me. You blamed. It says blameless. That means he never ignored their needs. He knows this word. He knows about the prosperity. He knows the riches. God is giving some people riches, the prosperity, because God has a purpose with him to how to use these riches. This is the only reason. God knows I am a steward of his money. This money or this wealth is not belonging to me. It is belonging to my God, my Father. But he has given me to be a steward. And I should use it wisely. I see in this area most of our believers fail. Most of the believers fail. They don't know for what riches. Some of any good thing in me, most of the things I learned from my owner, not from a believer. My owner in Saudi, I was the general manager, he was the owner. Most of the good traits I learned from him. And I still remember whenever he says, always, even though I was the general manager, every day I am in problem because of money. Always, if he sees some money in the company, immediately he will say, George, buy a machine. And he always tell me, we are getting bread, we are getting enough food, and we are having a place. What else we need? He believed having the money in the bank as a saving is a sin. This is what he told me. He said, George, buy a machine. I said, the difficulty you see. He said, George, you can give Job to one operator. You can bring one operator, 5 operators, or 7 operators. You can have a supervisor. What else we need, George? He was doing so many things. Always keep his word, whatever he says. In all those things, written verbal contract is more than the written contract. And we see in these areas, so many believers, I am telling, they think about amassing the wealth in the bank is something they are so funny about it. Where to take? In India, they always ask for request for helping. But if they give 1 cent, one of the 100 portions, one little portion, if they give it for Lord's glory, things will be much different. But, anyways, remember, being a wealthy man is not a sinner. Doesn't be a thing. Having money is not a sin. People quote wrongly, the money is the root of all evil. Where is the verse? Can you show me? But I remember 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10, it says, love of money is the root of all evil. For this reason, people wander away from their faith and go into many types of greeds. Having money is not a sin. But how to use it? For some people, It is very sad. I will give some quotes from some of the billionaires or millionaires. How it became a miserable for their life. You know, Christina Onassis, the only daughter of the shipping tycoon Aristotle Onassis. This lady died, committed suicide at the age of 38. The only daughter. By 38, 4 marriages, 4 failed marriages. And she, before his brother's death, wrote like this. Happiness is not based on money. And the best proof is that he is our family. Amass your wealth in the bank. It will not bring you any blessing. Rockefeller Foundation, we know. And he says, I have made many millions, but they have brought no happiness in my life. John Jacob Astor, one of the wealthiest men in the early 19th century. And by the way, he was the richest man in the ill-fated Titanic. Before his death, he is mentioned like this: I am the most miserable man on earth. Henry Ford, the founder and the owner of Ford Motor Company, he has said, I was very happy, much more happy when I was just a mechanic than what I am today. One more person. Andrew Carnegie, the king of steel industry in USA in the 18th century. And he said, millionaires seldom smile. Think about it. There are things that money cannot buy. Job was aware of it. You can buy the best bed, but you cannot buy sleep. You can buy the best food, but not appetite. You can buy the best house, but not home. You can buy the best building for the church, but not heaven. You can buy medicine, but you cannot buy heaven. Believers, we should know what is money for me. We are stewards of the money. We are not people to keep without Job. You read chapter 29, chapter 31, we can see Job is telling, oh, he never forget about a needy person. You know the story of the rich man and Lazarus. There we can see the rich man, after having enjoyed all the pleasures, luxuries, and he's seeing only one problem in his life. The problem is this Lazarus, who is making my cake, who is bringing shame to my family, shame to my house. I want to get rid of him. That is the only thing for him. But Job, it was no. For this reason, he was blameless. And second character says, faith is upright. What do we upright? Blameless is something related to the people, among the people, right? But upright is a relationship with the God. I will say like this. All other things about the wealthy, healthy, 7 children, prosperous children, and they are all those things, the cattle and everything, human people may say, but God will look into your heart and will say that, oh, he is an upright person. Means he is living in the straight way which was planned for him. That is very important. You know, when Israelites came back to the country and Israelites came back and lived there, there is one sentence what about Hilltop. He says, everyone was doing as he sees good in their own eyes. As he sees in their own eyes. But Job didn't think in this way. Not the culture, he thinks is right. No, he says he was upright. Because he knows what God likes him to be. And he lived. Anyways, look at ourselves. In so many things, we all live as I see the things. It is not looking God's interest. It is not looking at God's desire, but looking only at what is good in our eyes. Then God cannot say, George Mathew, you are upright. He cannot say. Because he knows the heart. And he certified. Job is upright. My time is over. But the truth is very important. Fear of God and also shunning all evil. If you are, why he became blameless? Why he became upright? Only one reason. The third reason. Fear of God. Fear of God. Only one reason. Why you are living a righteous life? Why you are living a blameless life? Only one reason. It is because we fear God. I don't have the time. Let me stop here. But only one thing. What are the challenges from Job? He had a total commitment, not a broken commitment. Most of the believers, we are displaying a total commitment, not a total commitment. The Job lived a life of faith, openly to the benefit of all his neighbors and servants, not looking for himself. He lived a life of faith, looking after the caretaking care, where neighbors and maidservants are all part of his life. Job was priest of the family, and he had given the spiritual leadership in his family. Another lesson. That is why he called. He sent the servants to bring the children to their home. The priest lived a real faith. In the last, let me say like this, Job practiced what he preached. Job practiced what he preached. Let us come.